Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Hey, welcome back to another edition of Scott Plex City. Hit that subscribe button in Pang's podcast, and then you will be notified every single Wednesday when Scott Plex City comes out. Scotty B's right there.
What do you say? What's going on?
Oh man, crazy week. It was one of those weeks that I was complaining about like a couple weeks ago where it's like, oh, there's so much wrestling in a week. How are you supposed to deal with it all?
And this time around we had 4 days instead of 3 like we did some of those other days.
It's just so much, but it was a great, enjoyable week.
Absolutely.
Scott Pang, SummerSlam was amazing, but the big news, other than Eva Marie getting suspended and Paige getting suspended,
Which all happened after our last podcast.
and if you watch the video version, we had stuff pop up as we were saying it, like, oh, this in and this in, and because it just came down. So
because it was so strange. We were talking about what's going to happen to Paige, and boom, right after we did the podcast, something popped up. I mean, I think I instant message you, and I'm like, do you believe this crap?
yeah, it was like
Are you
not
kidding
even
me?
30 minutes
Yeah.
after I posted the podcast. It was crazy. So it's gonna be interesting to see what is going on inside that locker room. Is there going to be more people that pop? Is everything with Adderall? Because I heard either Eva Marie
yeah,
was
that's what they're
Adderall too. So I know I said last week, is Alberto shuffling it around, but I forgot Roman was the one that originally got.
Mm-hmm.
So is Roman shuffling the Adderall around?
I don't know. You hear rumors that Alberto is the partier.
Is he the A-Rod of the WWE?
That could be it. Who knows? I would hope not. I mean, Roman doesn't seem that type, but of course the fact that he was taking it, I don't know.
Right.
But like I said, I've heard Alberto's a partier. I know from personal experience that he's kind of a partier. I'm not going to get into what I know, but
What he knows is definitely party.
He likes to party, and I don't know how far he goes into partying, but I know he likes to get his drink on. I can tell you that much. I don't know how far past that he goes, but I definitely know he likes to party. He likes to drink a little bit, so who knows what he got himself into. I hope it's nothing serious.
Me too. Another big thing, Finn Balor, injured.
That sucks.
No luck,
Finally
man.
gets on the main roster. He's there for a couple weeks, wins the belt, out 6 months at least. Maybe a little bit longer. Who
It's
knows?
6 months?
At least 6 months.
Wow. That's so unfortunate. An amazing match he had with Seth, but that brings up the question, is Seth too dangerous to work with? I was tweeting about the other night.
That's
Think
hard
about
to say.
Finn Balor he brought down, Sting he took out, Cena he took out.
Well, personally with Sting, I mean, he was kind of past his prime anyway.
But
So
still,
it's like the guy was getting older. He's probably more prone to injury. But yeah, I mean, a lot of that might be just be goofy coincidences and stuff like that. You got to think some of those matches he had with Ambrose when those two were feuding. I mean, how easily he could have hurt Dean, like power bombing him with chairs and the stuff with the ladders and all that kind of stuff. And he's fine. Just some freak stuff, Maybe he's just got to stop that powerbomb move, because I think that's basically what did Sting in, and now this time around. But maybe it's just the fact that Finn just took it wrong. I mean, he didn't go back and plan himself. He kind of just went shoulder in instead of protecting himself.
my opinion on Seth's wrestling skills are starting to change. I don't know how safe of a wrestler he is. Personally, I wouldn't want to get in the ring with Seth. I would be afraid he's going to injure me and possibly ruin my career.
But the guy's been wrestling quite some time, and okay, he's injured a few people. But like, how many other guys have injured people? It stuff happens.
But he does it all the
I'm
time.
not saying all the time. Come on.
What are
It
his last
happens.
big feuds? The only feud that it didn't happen in was with Dean Ambrose.
Ambrose, he feuded with Roman Reigns. He feuded with
we know why
feuded with
Roman
Randy
didn't get hurt,
Orton.
because he's on drugs allegedly. So he couldn't feel that because he's just wilding out.
Feuded with Randy Orton, there was no problems there. Feuded with Kane, no problems there. I mean, I think it's just a lot of freak stuff at times. I mean, the amount of guys who've been hurt in the
Dangerous
past.
wrestler.
I mean, Randy Orton, yeah, he did get hurt. Was it Seth? Was it Seth Rollins' fault?
Absolutely.
No.
Yes, it was.
No, when John Cena went out,
That was his knee.
not for the time he was out for how long ever it was. That was like a shoulder thing. That wasn't Seth's fault. When he broke his nose, he was only out for a couple weeks. As a matter of fact, he might have been there like the next week.
It was Cena, so he was probably there the next week.
That ain't nothing.
He's probably at the house show the next day.
Exactly. Exactly.
You don't take Cena down. Let's just be real. That dude, whatever.
That makes me wonder if that guy's on something. I mean, it's
take his blood, figure it out, swish it around,
and give it to everyone
because
that man is Superman. He literally is Superman.
I watched a video today of him signing autographs. He signed 3,000 autographs.
In like 90 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, an hour and 15 minutes. Beast mode.
That's crazy.
And it's not like a one-letter signature. It's like a couple
John Cena!
So, but basically, one last thing I want to say about the Seth injuring people. Seth injuring you in a match is like Miz not catching you. It happens all the time.
That's happened a few times, yeah. That's happened a few times.
But how about the Miz?
But the Miz, he doesn't injure anyone. You know, he might not catch him, but hey, he's not getting injured.
Miz is a safer worker than Seth?
Possibly.
Wow.
Possibly. It's hard to say.
I would love the right smart to hear that. They'd freaking head explode after hearing that Miz is a better worker than Seth.
I don't know if he's a better worker, but he might be a little bit safer worker. He's never been injured.
What the heck? Everything.
Did we have
we just had a quick power outage, but
we're still on.
We're on and rolling.
Okay, yeah, we're on.
Whatever.
Okay, the light's blinking. Okay, we're good.
Yeah. So whatever with that Seth Rollins Miz thing, but the Miz, he cut this promo on Talking Smack last night on Daniel Bryan, and you can't tell me he didn't dig into some personal stuff there. That was that's the best promo I've seen since CM Punk's pipe bomb.
Oh, no doubt.
Too bad that wasn't on the show.
But there's a few people I saw online on Facebook that were kind of complaining, like, oh, that's the problem. They had it on the network and not on WWE TV on Raw and SmackDown or whatever. I'm like, that's a great reason to have the network then. That's business right there. They're wanting people to subscribe. Like, hey, you can see stuff like this only on the network. That's why they're doing that. That's not a bad thing. That's great business sense right there.
I think
the more they do that stuff on the network, more people are going to subscribe. Like, oh, we got to watch this.
But I don't think it should always be on the network stuff.
It's not always going to happen.
You know, I think they should. They definitely need to have moments on the network. Don't get me wrong there.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, they also need to have moments on like SmackDown, and maybe in the beginning evolution stages of SmackDown right now, maybe that would have been better on TV for now, because
this is the beginning of that show, so it's a good way to get people to start watching that show.
That's true.
It's the first.
So it goes both
third
ways.
Episode of it or something like that.
It's a damned if you do, a damned if you don't type situation. But I was watching, or not watching, I was looking at ratings this past week, and Raw beat SmackDown, but only by like 200,000 in the prime hour.
Mm-hmm.
Like hour 2 of SmackDown, I think was like maybe 100,000 people less than hour 1 of Raw. SmackDown's growing, needless to say.
SmackDown is good.
Like my brother was saying earlier, that he feels that he gets more of an old school sense from SmackDown.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Which I agree with. But I like Raw still because more of my favorite wrestlers are on Raw. Unfortunately.
I like them both. It's all WWE to me, you know. NXT, whatever. It's like, I'll watch it all. I don't care.
All right, so we're going to get into SmackDown, but as we break down, or SmackDown, SummerSlam, as we break down SummerSlam, we'll talk about what kind of happened on the following nights on Raw and on SmackDown. We'll save Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton for a few minutes because that wasn't even a wrestling match.
Nuts.
That might as well happen on UFC 202 the night before. Like, that was crazy. But
oh, by the way, congratulations, Conor McGregor.
Yeah, shout out.
I could care less about either one of those guys. Don't like either one. Not a fan.
I like Conor McGregor, but at the same time, I don't like Conor McGregor. I hate Nick Diaz, so I wanted Conor to win that fight, but honestly, I watch Conor fights, and I hope he gets knocked out, but at the same time, I don't mind if he wins. I do like him, too.
I was basically hoping for Conor because I hate Diaz even more, so the way that was going. But speaking of WWE and UFC is turning into the WWE. The way that they had that whole press conference, throwing the water bottles, blah, 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 going back and forth, and then at the end of the fight, what do? They hug each other. Supposedly they hate each other, they want to kill each other.
But then they
do. I mean, okay, maybe they respect each other, but it just seems like all that hype and like, oh yeah, we're working everybody.
They definitely were working everybody.
I love UFC. Don't get me wrong, but when you see stuff like that, when it's overblown with the press conferences and stuff like that, and make them think, oh God, these guys really want to tear each other apart and rip each other's throats out, and then they go ahead and like, oh yeah, good fight, man.
Yeah, like,
come on.
UFC, you're the new WWE. I definitely touched on that a couple weeks ago. I like how you brought that up because it makes me feel that I'm not crazy
I'm not,
when I say
you're
crazy
not.
stuff like that.
You're not.
Sometimes I just throw stuff out there just to see what it will do. I like to troll. I'm not going to lie. I like to troll. But that was one that I wasn't saying to troll. That was something I was legitimately saying because that's how I felt. And now hearing somebody else say it.
I never felt that way at first, but then I really started watching
Right?
those press conferences a lot more. And like, God, they're just... all of a sudden,
Storyline,
every single time they start pushing and shoving each other,
Yeah.
and then they get in the octagon and they kind of chummy afterwards. It's just so bad.
Nikki Bella made her return as she replaced Eva Marie because she was vacationing.
I was like, what the heck is going on when they did the whole intro for her? I'm like, did we just totally get worked? Is she actually going to come out? And because I really thought they were going to say, she's not going to show up because she's been suspended for 30 years. I thought they were going to go there. I was hoping they were going to go there. And then they said, vacationing wherever she was. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was definitely crazy. And Nikki Bella, she came out, she got the win. She has a new finisher, debuted that, which I really like. At first, I thought she was going to do that rack attack.
Yeah, I thought she was too.
But then she
like
turned
TKO
it
or
into
something like that.
Craziness. I enjoyed that right there. Nikki Bella coming through in the clutch, which was major right there. How did you feel about that match? The Nikki Bella, Natalia, and Alexa Bliss beating Becky, Naomi, and Carmella.
I liked it. It was more of a filler match. It wasn't like your major Divas match. It wasn't anything like the women's title match for sure. More or less filler, but I enjoyed what I saw. Hopefully it's going to continue to get better with the women's division on SmackDown since they've now introduced a women's title belt, which someone will win at Backlash. So I'm looking forward to that.
And they're going to have a six-pack match.
Six-pack challenge, yes.
For the first SmackDown Women's Championship. Not only did they introduce that championship...
And the tag team titles, yes.
I like the tag team titles.
They don't look like pennies.
No.
They look more like dimes. 0 dimes! Yeah,
2 dimes.
2 dimes. They look a whole... I like the silver with the blue. It looks really good. So, I mean, a lot of people are, kind of complaining and bitching and moaning, saying, oh, geez, no originality and all that kind of crap. But once again, we go back to the UFC. Look at every single one of their belts. They all look the same. Kind of just, have a format. Kind of just everything all looks the same. That makes perfect sense to me,
Keep it unified.
Unified, exactly.
What is it? No, it's not the unified champion. The universal champion.
The universal champion, yeah.
So when this experiment of separating SmackDown and Raw fails, when they're going to unify everything again?
They might. I mean, that'll probably be a few years before they do something like that, but there's a chance it could happen.
I don't think it's going to happen for a few years.
Yeah, I'd say at least 5.
At least.
At least.
What did the last one go? About 8-9 years?
Wow, how long did that go? Jeepers.
It was
2014 is when everything got unified, right? Or they ended
around there.
Or something like that. I'm trying to remember. Goodness gracious. Probably over 10. It was over 10.
It was a while.
It was quite a while. So
the United States Championship match did not take place because Roman Reigns beat the crap out of Rusev ahead of time.
Well, they had their big match on Raw, so it was like, why have another big match, I guess. I don't know. It almost seemed like they were running out of time, like, okay, we got to cut this match to get to the main event.
But
it almost seemed that way.
Yeah, even though they ended like in a weird time anyways. There's no time restrictions on the network anyway, so you don't need to hustle anything along. But the following night, Rusev's still United States Championship. Roman Reigns comes out. He takes on Rusev because there's this they're having a 4 people. It's going to be a fatal 4-way at Backlash for the championship, WWE Championship.
Universal Championship, yes.
Universal Championship. Yes. So now it's going to, here we go with all this.
So many belts,
now.
it's going to get confusing after a while.
Big Cass defeated Rusev to move on to the next round, or to move on to Backlash.
He didn't so much defeat him. Rusev backed off because he was all hurt and banged up from the punishment he had received from Roman Reigns the night before.
Are they really giving Big Cass a chance at the championship?
I think he's just kind of, he more or less can be like the filler guy in there, I would say. I wouldn't mind seeing the belt
the guy
on him.
to get the big pop?
That wouldn't bother me at all. I wouldn't mind at all. And having KO in there as well. That, to see the Universal Championship on him, I'd be more than happy with that. Even put it on Seth Rollins. Now I saw something like before we started that they're going to put it on Roman. And I'm thinking, goodness gracious, come on.
You think Roman's got a chance to win this?
They still seem high on him, even though he's getting booed like mad. They still seem very high on the guy. So there is a possibility.
I personally thought Roman in the U.S. Championship scene worked really well. I liked it, and the power just flicked again.
It just did it again. It's not raining or anything outside.
I don't know what's going on. Also, Shantae, he's here because I got Where You At Wednesdays. He's going to probably walk in the studio in a second, but he'll just hang out for a minute. We'll be finished.
You can say hi to him.
He likes wrestling too, so get his opinion on something too if we want. Also, in another few minutes, and we may have to pause the podcast for a quick second and come back because we're running up to my show time. It's almost time for me to go live on the radio, and I may have to do a break.
As you notice, right here, if you can see this on the Jams 96.3.
Yeah,
check out Scott Pank every afternoon, 2 to 7.
Thank you. We're not in the other studio that we're in just because we're running close on time. So that's why we're in this studio today. Brock Lesnar defeated Randy Orton, TKO, beat the crap out of Orton at SummerSlam. He threw an elbow into his head, caused him to bleed. Now this wasn't a wrestling match. This was a straight up fight. This was a brawl.
And a lot of people were thinking that was a shoot and stuff like that. I think the whole TKO finish was obviously what the finish was supposed to be. But I think obviously that elbow was not supposed to hit him like it did.
That bad.
Because that thing busted him open. He was gushing like a fountain. And this day and age, when you see blood on WWE television, it's shock. It's like, oh my God! So, I mean, I was like, oh my God, was that supposed to happen? What's going on here? And obviously not. But then when Shane comes in and he gets the F5, you knew, okay, this is definitely the way it was supposed to work with all that. But just seeing that blood just gush right out, and
they let it stay.
And they
didn't cut to black and white or anything. Shantae, we're just finishing up our podcast right here, so you could just come around and hang out over here, hang out over there. There's a chair. You could go there. There's a computer. Hop on, whatever. So, but yeah. So the Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton definitely was. That was an intense match. I don't know if that was the right match to close out SummerSlam. I really still think the Universal Championship.
Yeah, I think that's the way it really should have gone. But I mean, Brock is the main attraction these days. They even said it during the pay-per-view that he had main evented the last 3 SummerSlams, so it kind of made sense to have him be the man for this particular event because it was Cena 2 years ago, and then against the Taker, and now against Orton. So they're pushing him to be the main attraction of SummerSlam apparently. So it kind of made sense in a way to have him be the main event.
To me, it's almost like the UFC is trying to be the WWE, and the WWE is trying to be the UFC.
Absolutely. Well, because UFC is where it's at right now. I mean,
that's the truth.
It's all over the place.
That's what everybody's talking about all the time.
Yeah.
The Universal Championship match, amazing match between Seth and Finn. We touched on it a little bit in the beginning. Finn surprised everyone. I don't think really anybody really thought Finn Balor was going to walk away as the champion, the first ever champion.
I thought it was, I mean, we talked about it last week. I thought it was going to be Seth, and they're going to have Finn chase the belt for a while, but they gave him the belt, and unfortunately, he held on to it for one whole day.
Yeah, right.
That sucks, man.
6 months he's out.
All that time, showing what he's got in NXT. You're wondering when the hell is he going to make the main roster? He finally does. He's there for a couple weeks. Gone 6 months.
But I think this actually will kind of maybe build to him and maybe add to that Demon King character a lot. You could just have him maybe come out at a pay-per-view
That's not the way the WWE works, though. You know, once somebody's out, they want to keep it low. So when he finally does come back, boom, the pop. They want the pop, and that's what they're looking for with that, and it's going to happen. You know, no doubt, when he comes back, he's going to be the champion again. They're going to put the belt.
He's going to be right back in the feud.
Triple H and Vince are way too high on him to not do that.
Seth Rollins is definitely. We know Seth Rollins is going to compete for the belt.
He's in that fatal four-way.
Yeah, he got pushed through to the end, right? Automatically.
Him. Well, no, he beat Sami Zayn in that match.
Oh, he did beat Sami Zayn?
Yeah.
Oh.
He beat Sami Zayn in that match, so he's in. KO's in the match. Big Cass is in the match, and Roman Reigns is in the match. So
who would you like to see take it?
I want to see KO personally.
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be either Seth or Roman, but I would like to see KO because I would like to see a good heel have that belt.
Me too. Shante?
I'm kind of with him, but it's also like, you know, that somehow Seth is going to end up winning it.
But is he now? We thought he was going to, you know what I mean?
We thought he was going to take the belt at SummerSlam.
Hey, it's really interesting, and all their options are great. I think their options for a champion is better than SmackDown options right now. They're just such big, crazy names. But a huge name over on SmackDown that might be champion before we know it is AJ Styles.
Oh, if they put the belt on him, I'll be happy. As much as I'm a fan of Dean Ambrose, putting the belt on AJ would be the perfect thing to do.
AJ has gone to a whole nother level over the past couple of weeks. Like, he was doing really good, but now, since he's really embraced this heel character,
and
he's
totally
just took
I
off.
beat up John Cena, but
Love it.
Just that promo that he did to kick off the show, and then getting in a fight with Ziggler, that was pure awesomeness.
I got the remix to the remix of his intro. You know, everybody's like, John Cena sucks. It should be beat Cena up.
I like it.
The other night or yesterday, whatever it was, Monday when it came on, I was
beat Cena up.
Yeah.
Beat Cena up.
I like that. Let's get this remix going so when it goes from city to city, let's do this. AJ Styles, he had a nice little battle with Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, if he beat AJ Styles, he had a chance to be in a triple threat for the WWE SmackDown champion. I don't know.
I think it's still just the WWE Championship. They got the Universal and the WWE Championship. Once again, it's going to get a little crazy getting all mixed up with the names of these belts and stuff like that.
And so AJ Styles, my early prediction is AJ Styles walks away as the champion.
I will totally agree with that.
That's going to be a huge match. It's going to be
Backlash is looking great already. I mean, you're going to have the six-pack for the women's. You're going to have the ending for the tag team tournament they have, and then you're going to have AJ versus Ambrose. I mean, right there, AJ versus Ambrose. That you got my money right there. Even though you already have my money since I'm paying for the network, but right there you got my money, and then you got those other two. It's going to. I'm digging this.
Dolph Ziggler, he did have a great match the night before with Dean Ambrose. I think that might have been a little disappointing.
It was. That could have been a whole lot better.
I thought it would have been. I don't know. There's something. I feel like Dean is kind of maybe getting a little too relaxed right now. I need him to build. I need his intensity to get back up there.
I mean, personally, I liked him better without the belt. Him chasing it was a whole lot better.
I agree. He's definitely a lot better chasing it. That's why when AJ gets the belt, it's going to be great for Dean to chase him there. And then you got Ziggler, who's like the wild card nowadays. I mean, and also, speaking of wild card, Heath Ledger is getting over. I never thought Heath Ledger... Yeah,
Slater.
That would be a different person.
Heath Ledger,
may
God rest his soul, was the Joker, yes.
He's under, not over. Bad joke.
Jeepers, too soon.
Bad joke. Is it too soon, though?
It's always too soon.
Is it?
It's always too soon.
Damn, Scott, you're so disrespectful. Put some respect on that man's name, damn it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick pause right here because I have to do a break on the radio because we did run into the 2 o'clock time. I'm going to do the break. We're going to come right back. We're going to talk about Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, Enzo Amore, Big Cass a little bit. We'll talk about Bayley. And we'll wrap things up. So hold tight. Scott Plex City. And actually, you're not even going to notice the break. And we're back! All right, so...
Shout out to Jimmy Fallon right there.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the best skits
I love that skit.
Saturday Night Live, the radio DJ one.
I love that one.
If you don't know what we're talking about...
Look it up on YouTube. It's got to be there.
Hilarious.
And we're back!
Jimmy Fallon, he's... it's not fair to say underrated, but he definitely is kind of underrated. He gets overlooked because he's mainstream a lot,
Mhm.
but he's really a super
I
funny
thought he
guy.
was funny before he was on the Tonight Show. I mean, he always made me laugh on Saturday Night Live, basically because he always kind of broke character. A lot of
Yeah.
times he'd start laughing. I always liked that on Saturday Night Live. That was always one of my favorite things when they start laughing because they're cracking each other up. Makes it even funnier.
Absolutely. So before we get Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, little stuff going on. Charlotte defeated Sasha for the women's championship.
Which was very surprising.
Did not expect
Didn't
that.
see that coming.
And Sasha now is allegedly injured.
Mhm. I think she had some lingering injuries and stuff like that, so this is a way for her to rest up, stay.
Do you know how long she's out for?
They're saying that she's probably gonna be back sometime at the end of September or something like that. That's what it's saying. I guess they took her off all the live events.
So no
the next
immediate
month.
rematch.
So no.
That's why Bayley came up, you think?
That very well could be, but it seemed like she was probably going to show up soon anyway because she had the match at TakeOver with Asuka, didn't win. There's really nothing else for her to do down there. Let's bring her up to the main roster. If the whole thing with Sasha had not happened, then maybe we might be still waiting on Bayley, but who knows?
I love that Bayley's there, and
the pop that she got too. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone. And as soon
Certified.
as Mick came out, people knew.
They're like, Bayley,
Yep,
Bayley,
they knew.
Bayley. Just give it like not even 2 months, and she might be the most over person. She might be bigger than Enzo and Big Cass right now.
That's very possible. Very possible.
Who, by the way, had a great match against Jericho.
Jericho, KO, yeah.
That
That was a great way to start off the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that was possibly match of the night. I mean, Seth and Finn.
I'd
was
say right
really
next
good.
to John Cena and AJ is probably my match of the night.
That was actually really
That
good.
was probably the best, and I'd probably go with a tie between Finn Balor and Seth and the Enzo Cass Jericho.
We're kind of separating Enzo, or not separating them. We're kind of separating Jericho and Kevin a little bit, but there's still remaining a connection because they're, Canadian brothers, and
I love you, man.
Yes.
I love you too, man.
Basically, Owens is fighting for the championship and Jericho's not. Jericho came out and helped Owens in his match
did.
win by distracting. Who do you distract? I got it down here. Owens distracted Neville.
Yeah, it was Neville that he went
And then Kevin got the pin, got it moving on to the 4-way WWE Universal Championship match. And Roman Reigns ended up defeating Jericho.
Mhm.
But, Owens came out to try to confuse it and tried to help Jericho, but it didn't work in their favor at all. But we kind of knew that was going to be the case
That was
ahead
pretty
of time.
obvious, yes.
I mean, if you've watched wrestling in the past, you probably knew that was going to be the outcome.
You weren't gonna have 3 heels and 1 face in this fatal 4-way match. It was pretty obvious that, Roman was gonna be part of the match.
And then another great match was Gallows and Anderson. They defeated the New Day. I mean, Gallows and Anderson, this feud is what they needed to bring them to that level that they're trying to get to. Something was holding them up a little bit. Maybe it was being overshadowed by AJ's, but now the fact that they can shine and they can go up against a team that really can put people over, this is a great little feud, and it looks like it's going to continue on at least through Backlash.
And because Big E is back.
Yep, that was quick.
And Backlash that's the SmackDown only one. Remember that.
I did not know that.
They're doing the separate ones. I think Night of Champions, or no, the Clash of the Champions. They're rebranding it. The Clash of the Champions will be the Raw one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that when we're going to get tag team versus tag team and stuff like that? Like tag team champion versus
No, probably not.
World champion.
No, I think that's just gonna be the Raw pay-per-view. So, I think the only ones we're gonna have like the 2 together will probably be just like your Royal Rumble, your WrestleMania, or SummerSlam, probably Survivor Series, probably Money in the Bank too. I think that'd be a co-branded pay-per-view, and maybe some other ones might be both of them, but who knows what they're doing right now. It's like I had a feeling they were going to do this separate pay-per-view thing again, so we'll just see where this goes.
How long until somebody holds, like, I'm just going to say, for example, the championship and the Universal Championship on one brand? How long you think? A year, 2 years?
You think they're just going to get rid of
No,
this
I
guy
don't.
with one belt?
No, I think that they'll just hold them both and then possibly lose it. Like, let's
I
say,
don't know
will
if that can
Seth be
happen.
like, oh, Dean, I'm challenging you for the belt. Take the belt from him and then maybe drop it, the next night or the next pay-per-view or something.
Well, if they're not part of that brand, they can't win that belt. So I don't know.
Is that the case?
I think that's the case. Yeah, you can't go after that belt. You're not part of the brand. It's brand exclusive.
Unless you're Heath.
Yeah. Yes.
Then you do what you want.
Yes.
And you're getting yourself
He's
over
a free
right
agent,
now.
baby!
He's getting over, man. He really is.
He was getting chance the other night on Raw when Titus O'Neil was doing his promo, which Titus, dude, work on your promo skills, please. People were started chanting, "We want Slater," and he was just like, "Well, you want who? What?" And then went back into the. That was an awkward
very
promo, man. The whole segment was just off.
Yeah, not good. That's why we didn't really spend time on this
Nah.
at all right here. But other than that, I mean, Shane kind of hinted toward there's going to be something coming with Brock Lesnar.
Are we going to see a Brock Lesnar Shane McMahon fight?
WrestleMania.
Or maybe Survivor Series? Because Brock's not sticking. I mean, he ain't going to be around.
No.
I doubt he's not.
He's gone for a little bit.
He's going to be. Well, probably won't be back till at least the Rumble.
That's what I
maybe
would
Survivor Series in a couple months.
Wow, it was a great week of wrestling. A lot going on. NXT was absolutely amazing here.
Shinsuke Nakamura, that match with Samoa Joe, awesome. Once again, the tag team championship match with Gargano and Ciampa versus the Revival. That was so many near falls. That was definitely the match of the night right there. I expected that to be, and that was great. Bobby Roode, his first big match with NXT, totally dug it. The match with Austin Aries and who do you guys? So Austin Aries and No Way Jose.
Yep.
Another decent match. Jose is definitely over. I mean, the fans were going nuts with him, and it looks like we're going to have a feud with Hideo Itami and Aries now, because that's the way all that stuff ended. So I'm digging. I'm totally digging. And of course, we got about Bayley and Asuka, another match of the night candidate right there.
Crazy. Now we're gonna put this on pause again, but we're wrapping up right here anyways. Scotty B, how they get at you? Hold on, we're gonna Scotty B. So what were those handles? I didn't get you in your middle of breaking down. He was going in.
Oh yeah, some little Kanye West gold digger right there. I'm not a Kanye West fan, but I dig that song.
See, that's the one thing about artists. I'm going to derail now a little bit here. Just because an artist is an ass doesn't mean they can't make good music.
I mean,
or just because an athlete is a jerk doesn't mean you're not a good athlete.
I mean, I'm a big Guns N' Roses fan. Axl Rose is the biggest a-hole around.
Oh, possibly, Mike. Him and Kanye are definitely they're neck and
total
neck for
a-hole.
that. Yeah.
But I love Guns N' Roses. I mean, that's one of my favorite bands of all time. So just because somebody's a jerk doesn't mean you can't like their music and stuff like that. So
that's basically that.
I don't like a lot of his tunes, but that one I do like.
So your handle.
Oh, my handle, yes. Scotty B 1976. That's on Twitter. Scotty Bizzle 76 on Instagram. Find me at Scotty Bland on Facebook. That's Scotty with an IE, not a Y.
Scott Radio is how you get at me across all the social networks. Subscribe Pank's Podcasts in iTunes. Then you get notified when Scott Plex City comes out each and every single week. You could also find Scott Plex City on SoundCloud through Scott Radio, my handle. Scott Plex City. Tell your friends about it. Let's grow this show together and let's have a grassroots movement here,
Let's
people.
bond together, people.
All right, so Scott Plex City, tell your friends about it. Tell them to get on Pank's Podcast. Do it, damn it. All right.
And if they don't, they suck.
Later. Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Scott Plex City.
Marks.